About to shut the door, and I realize we're going live. Okay, so this is a topic that I probably should have dealt with before, and I think it's very important. Maybe I did deal with it. And I'm going to talk about what a prospect is, what a lead is, and what over communicate really means. The question is, can you over communicate with a prospect? So I define a prospect as somebody that's on a list of potential sellers, right? I define a lead as someone who has raised their hand and said, I'm interested in selling a property in an area that I buy. You're going to have a lot of prospects, right? And you may think they're leads, right? Even if someone clicks on a pay-per-click ad, or you buy a lead from a pay-per lead service like Need to Sell My House Fast or anything like that, I don't consider them a lead yet. Not until I've had a conversation with them, right? Because a lot of people put in their information and then say, no, I'm not selling, or I'm selling in 5 years, or I'm selling for full price in an area where you can't take a listing, for example, and that may not be a lead, right? Again, my lead definition is very broad. My lead definition is somebody who wants to sell a property in an area that I want to buy. There are people who define a lead as someone who wants to sell at a discount, someone who's super motivated and wants to sell really fast. I'll take a listing and I'll follow up with somebody forever. So if someone just wants to sell, even if they want to sell for $200,000 more than retail, I'll still have them as a lead. Now I may kill it, right? So my lead intake team will ask someone if they want full value, or they say it's in perfect condition. Hey, that sounds like something you might want to list. Do you have somebody to list it with? Now, if somebody says yes, my mother's a realtor, my best friend's a realtor, I'm a realtor, whatever that, and they want full price and the house is in great condition, I may kill it as a dead lead because I may just say it's not worth it. But if they say no, I don't have anybody to list it with, then I'm going to try and go on that appointment and try and get a listing, assuming they want assuming they want to sell pretty quickly. So again, I have a broad definition of a lead. There are people who are much more narrow. But a prospect to me is someone who I don't know has raised their hand. So even if someone calls, so someone calls over a postcard, right? Send out thousands of these postcards, and someone calls, but I haven't gotten in touch with them yet. For me, that's not a lead, right? That's a prospect. When we made contact and they've established that they do want to sell, then it's a lead. So you have to deal. So again, remember, until someone said they want to sell, had a conversation, or by text, left a message, or really communicated that with me or prospecting, you're going to deal with tons of prospects in your lifetime. Very often it's going to be a hang up, right? Someone's going to call from a mail piece or call some number and then just hang up. That happens a lot. So I don't call back hang ups from texting. I don't call back hang ups from RVMs, because I find a vast majority of them are just actually texting. I do call back. I'm sorry, because texting I've communicated I want to buy it. But RVMs, ringless voicemail, I find a lot of those people just see a missed call and they're calling back, and I don't want to waste my time with them. But if someone calls on a mail piece, or someone calls off my website, I am immediately calling that person back. Now, what a lot of new investors do is they call once, or they call twice, or they call 3 times, and they don't want to pester them or bother them, and they feel like they're going to be a pest. They're afraid of somebody saying, "What are you, crazy? You call me 12 times." So I'm here to burst that bubble and say, without a doubt, and I will stand behind this 100%, you can never over communicate with a prospect, right? If you called someone 10 times in a day, every day, for a week, sorry, you cannot go wrong. Now, you may say, what? That's crazy. That's harassment. They're going to call the police. So a couple things. No one's calling the police on you, right? Nobody, right? You're calling back a hang-up number. You're not cold calling them 10 times a day. I would never cold call a number 10 times a day. That is harassment, maybe. Although you're still probably not going to go to jail for it. But someone called you, you want to find out if that guy is legit or not. So here's the truth. There's only 2 categories here. There's people who have a problem that you can solve, right? They really want to sell, and selling to an investor is what they want. And there's everyone else. Most people are everyone else, right? They didn't realize you're going to offer it at a discount. Their house is terrible and they won't let you inside. Some kind of crazy situation. There's everyone else, right? They don't really want to sell. They just want to know how much it's worth. They just want an offer from you. There's a lot of people like that. Most prospects are going to end up being dead, right? They're not going to end up being a real deal, right? You better know that now. So if they really have a problem that you can solve, and let me say something that may sound a little crazy, but I found to be true. A lot of the people that sell at a deep discount have a communication problem. they push communication under the rug, right? They haven't paid their bills in a long time. They just push things under, and they don't really get back to people in a timely fashion. Now, if they have a problem you could solve, so they are a really good lead, and you call them 30 times, they're not going to yell at you. They're going to say, yeah, I need to sell my house. If they start yelling at you, they almost never have a problem you can solve, right? Because if I really want to sell my house and I need to sell to an investor, and whatever the reason is, I have a problem that an investor could solve, I'm happy to speak to them, even if he calls me 150 times. So you cannot be afraid of over communicating. So my typical touch pattern is I want to call, if someone calls me and I want to reach them 5 times a day. That might be 3 calls and 2 texts. If I get an email, I might want to email them once, text them once, call them 3 times. But I want to have a conversation with them 15 times in 3 days. And that's a minimum. I think it should be more. I think we should probably do 20 times in 3 days. We put them in a drip campaign that's going to pound them a few times for texting, and we call and we call and we call. And we call different times of the day, and we double tap them, right? Because a lot of people do not disturb on their phone, so you call them twice and it gets through. So I think it's crucial that you understand you can never over communicate with a prospect, never. And the fear that people have is that someone's going to get upset. Are you crazy? You didn't stop calling me. You're going to get those. I've gotten those. I don't care. To me, it's great. Now I know. Maybe sucks. Yes or no is fine. And plenty of people call. I'll say no to them, right? I've gotten people call me, oh, my property's listed for sale. I go, we're probably not going to do business. It's probably not going to work. Sometimes they end up buying those houses, but very, very rare. So marketing is really a disqualification process. It's getting rid of the crap to get to the people that are really good. That's really what it is. Whether you realize it or not, that's what it is. So if a person calls you screaming, and I've got people go, this man called me 15 times. That's the happiest call. I'm thrilled. I go, okay, I'll make sure we don't contact you again. Because guess what? We shouldn't have been caught. They were a waste of time from the start, but we've now figured it out. It might have taken a bunch of calls to figure it out, a bunch of texts. I don't care. One way or the other, you want to know. You can never over communicate ever. The fear is I have this perfect deal. This person is perfectly normal, and they didn't respond to my first 27 calls. And the 28th call, they're going to call up and yell at me and say, I would have sold you the house, but because you called me so much, I'm not going to sell to you. That never happens. Never. For that person that calls up screaming at you, that person would have never sold you the house at a discount where you can make money. Ever. Ever. So you can never over communicate to a prospect ever. Now, to a lead, you can over communicate. So if they've established it and they said, hey, call me in 6 months, I'll call them in 3 months. But I'm not going to call them 27 times in 3 months. I might call them in 3 months, and I call them 2 weeks later, and 2 weeks later, and 2 weeks later. But I'm not going to bother them. They know who I am. They have other options. But to determine if a prospect is a lead, you can never over communicate. You want to pound them as hard as you can, as many times as you can. You cannot over communicate. I would say don't call them 7 times in a row. But understand, you're never going to jail for harassment. Ever. 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 I mean, could you imagine that call to police? Hi, Miss 4th Precinct. Hey, this guy keeps calling me. Yeah, what story? Well, I called him, I hung up, and then he called me 9 times. Okay, did you get on the phone and tell him to stop calling you? No, I don't want to call him back. That's going to be a quick conversation. So I want to be clear. You can never over communicate to a prospect, ever. You want to hit them as many times as you can, different times of the day, double tap so you hit them twice, call them 2 or 3 times. That's what you want to do. My phone is nonstop ringing. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com or learntoflipandwholesale.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the crazy algorithms that let more people see my videos. So thank you for liking, because more people like and then more people watch, the more people like, and it keeps going round and round. So thank you very, very much. Please keep the questions coming. You don't have to ask anything. You can ask anything. It doesn't have to be about the video you're watching. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something that I've covered recently, I'll send you a link to a video. And if it's something that I haven't covered in a long time, or something maybe that I've never covered before, like I don't know if I ever covered this before, I will do a brand new video on it. So I really appreciate everyone's been liking. Please click the thumbs up. Thank you very, very much for watching.